Welcome back to the Coaster Awards. Today we're going to give awards to all the coasters of Dorney Park, and also I will share my rankings at the end of the video. Dorney Park is home to a pretty solid collection of roller coasters, including two very good B&M coasters, an Intamin Impulse coaster, and a Hyper coaster, along with a dive coaster that will be added next year. So, let's get started. Starting off with the Best Looking Coaster Award. I was debating between Hydra and Talon, but I think Talon's going to win out in this one. The color scheme looks really nice, and I love seeing the B&M trains traverse the layout. And the ride theming fits the coaster type perfectly, in my opinion. Next, we have the Worst Looking Coaster Award. Now, don't get me wrong, none of the coasters at Dorney don't, look good, but in my opinion, I think Possessed doesn't have a very good color scheme. The ride experience on Possessed is amazing, and I really enjoy the coaster. It's one of my favorite coasters there. But I think the color scheme is just not very good, and it definitely does need a repaint. So that's why I'm giving it this coaster award. But don't worry, this coaster has a lot of positive coaster awards coming its way later in the video. For the Roughest Coaster Award, we have two options here. We have Thunderhawk, which is a really old wooden coaster. And we also have Hydra. Hydra is surprisingly rough, and actually it's a lot rougher in the front row than any other row. Now, Thunderhawk's definitely a little more rough on the track, but Hydra, you do get a lot of headbanging. Headbang's a serious problem on that coaster. So, which coaster gets it? Well, surprisingly, I'm going to say Hydra. Personally, I can get over a wooden coaster's roughness as long as the ride has other redeeming qualities. Hydra's a great coaster, don't get me wrong, but the headbanging really made it a somewhat unpleasant experience, especially in the front. So actually for this coaster, I recommend sitting in the back. It's surprisingly smoother back there. Now this doesn't apply for most roller coasters, but if you want the smoother ride, you definitely need to go on the back for Hydra. So, if you're like me and you don't like headbanging, then Hydra's going to be the roughest coaster here. But if you just cannot stand jackhammering, or a wooden roller coaster roughness, then Thunderhawk's definitely taking home the Roughest Coaster Award for you. To about no one's surprise, Talon is the smoothest coaster at Dorney Park. I mean, it's a B&M invert. The roughest B&M invert I've ridden is Banshee, and even that's not very rough in my opinion. Talon is a glossy, smooth ride, and is a ton of fun too. If you want to know what Talon feels like, check out my 3-minute review on Talon. It tells you everything you need to know before taking a ride on Talon. Next up, the Best Operations Award. I'm giving this award to Hydra. They do pump out the trains pretty consistently throughout the day, and the Hydra ride crew is awesome. When I visited Dorney Park, after about 9 o'clock, they let us just stay in our seats and ride Hydra over and over again, without making us get back in line. It was an awesome experience, and I got to ride it 4 or 5 times in a row, which was amazing. So shout out to the Hydra ride crew, you guys are amazing. Good job. Dorney Park is in an interesting situation when it comes to the Best Drop Award. None of their coasters really feature that good of a drop in my opinion. So, I think Possessed Straight Spike kind of counts as a drop. Kind of. So, I mean, Steel Force's drop isn't very good. I'd say Steel Force's drop comes in second in this category, and it's solid, but yeah, it's not really that special. So, unfortunately, I didn't get to ride Demon Drop when I visited Dorney Park, but yeah, so I guess it goes to Possessed. This is interesting. I'm gonna need you to pick a real drop because I don't count Possessed as a drop, so try again. Okay, I just got word from my head editor, which is me, that I have to pick another coaster because apparently Possessed does not count as a drop. So we're gonna go with Steel Force because this drop is kind of funky. So it starts out pretty, it doesn't start out very steep, and then partway through the drop, it gets steeper and actually gives a decent amount of pop of airtime because it's such a sudden jolt. So, maybe not the most comfortable drop, but it's definitely unique, and does give a decent amount of airtime. Speaking of airtime, it's time to hand out the Best Airtime Award to a coaster at Dorney Park. So we all know where we're going. We're obviously going to Thunderhawk. Yes, this 100-year-old wooden coaster has the best and most airtime on a coaster at Dorney Park. And I actually really like this coaster. I enjoyed it a lot. It's not super rough, it's definitely tolerable. And there are a couple hills that just send you flying out of your seat, crazy ejector airtime. With those very loosely fitting PTC restraints, oh my gosh, that's crazy. It's almost like scary airtime. So yeah, good job Thunderhawk. You've held your own through the years, and yeah, you have some good airtime. Good job. And shout out to Dorney for maintaining this coaster so well. I mean, it really wasn't that rough, especially for a 100-year-old wooden coaster. Great job. The most forceful coaster at Dorney Park, to no one's surprise, is Talon. It's a B&M invert. Like, you know what you're getting here, okay? Next up, we have the most family-friendly attraction at Dorney Park. Now, I say attraction because this one's actually not a roller coaster. So I'm going to give a shout out to Dorney Park's log flume. Now, we didn't get the opportunity to ride the log flume because it started, lightning, like raining and lightning. I don't know if I said that right. When we visited Dorney Park, we were about to ride the log flume. But let me tell you, this ride looks actually really fun. It doesn't look like anyone was getting too wet, and it looks like it has a pretty good drop, and I think it's something that the whole family would enjoy. Most underrated coaster at Dorney Park is actually Thunderhawk, the wooden coaster I've been giving a lot of praise to in this video. It's just really good. You just gotta come check it out for yourself. For the most overrated coaster award, it's kind of interesting here because I didn't really hear that one specific coaster at Dorney Park was like way above all the others. So I didn't get super high expectations for any of the coasters, but I just don't know what to pick for the most overrated coaster. I guess Hydra I thought was going to be better, but I still really enjoyed it. I guess I just thought it was going to be a little better, so I guess we're giving it to Hydra. I don't really want to give it a Hydra, but I think it's our best option in this category. And I have to give an award in every category, so I guess let's go to Hydra. Now for the worst coaster award. You know what? I'm going to give it to the Wild Mouse. It's just the Wild Mouse. It's just, eh. Okay, and I don't want to give it to a kiddie coaster, because that's just silly. So, moving on. And the best coaster at Dorney Park is Talon, the B&M invert. It's really good, okay? With Possessed coming in as a close second. I really like Possessed, but I think Talon being more of a complete ride, it just edges out Possessed, but just by a little bit. Both are really good coasters, so come check them out. Now, time for the moment you've all been waiting for. The ranking of the coasters at Dorney Park. 7. Wild Mouse. 6. Woodstock Express. 5. Steel Force. 4. Thunderhawk. 3. Hydra. 2. Possessed. And number 1, Talon. If you guys enjoyed the video, please give it a like. I really appreciate it. And consider becoming the newest Theme Park Studios subscriber. Dorney's a pretty good park, and I really suggest checking it out. I highly recommend doing Hershey Park and Dorney next time you're in Pennsylvania. Both are really good parks, and I highly recommend them. So, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.